I am in distress.
Why is that?
I am sad. I am dejected.
Why is that?
Because I feel like Mikel Arteta deserves way better than what he's getting. The Arsenal had a bad game yesterday, home against Bournemouth. Arsenal lost their second home match of the season, fourth overall in the league. And apparently this is a disaster. At the end of that match, they were still 9 points ahead of Man City, with Man City having 2 games in hand. Like, I am in distress, Inka. I'm not in a good place. I saw humans who get paid to speak. It would have been everything on fire. This is the worst day ever. And then Tuesday to Saturday is what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 4 days. Saying all kinds of things that they were not saying last week, that they were not saying on Wednesday. For me, I thought the narrative would be, they were rushing too much, because they were rushing. Or Tuesday, after Arsenal went to Lisbon
and won,
and came back with a 1-0 last minute win. They changed their script completely. They were getting ready to say something when it was looking like a goalless draw. Martinelli did what Martinelli did. Amazing assist, by the way. That was just on Tuesday, Inka. As my kids used to say back in the day, that's 4 sleeps. That's it. It's not that many days, Inka. But because Martinelli had a moment of brilliance and Havertz had an absolute moment of brilliance, the 1-2 touch thing was ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, please see it. The narrative changed. All these people who get paid to speak changed their story. Now everything was well in the world. Let's focus on Liverpool, where everything is on fire, because they couldn't beat PSG. Did anyone think they were going to beat PSG in Paris? Because I didn't. Did you?
No, you did. You picked Liverpool.
No. In Paris. In Paris.
Oh, okay. No,
I didn't think Liverpool was going to beat PSG in Paris. I thought Liverpool was going to advance over 2 legs, but I didn't think they were going to beat PSG in Paris. Even last year when Liverpool, they struggled. Remember?
Yeah. And they won 1-0, by the way. They won that game.
They couldn't get past Donnarumma last year, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then everyone keeps telling me how poorly Arsenal played. And I'm like, really? Was it really that bad? Because for me, in my book, when you play poorly, you get exposed like Chelsea today. That's playing poorly when you're home. When someone comes to your house, slaps you around, and your £105 million captain gifts the ball for a 3rd goal, that's what I call playing poorly. We should stop using the results to analyze the game. If when you were watching Arsenal versus Lisbon, right, in the 2nd minute of added time, you were getting ready to say Arsenal sucks, don't change your mind because 2 players had moments of brilliance. Arsenal still suck. If that's what you truly believe, then they're still terrible.
Yep, I agree with you.
When in the 75th minute, when it was 1-1 or worse, at halftime, when Arsenal had the momentum, having just equalized, Gyökeres looking like he's about to do something. If you were not thinking this is the worst Arsenal team of the last 20 years, blah, 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 don't change your mind because Bournemouth scored a beautiful goal. So if you're counting at home, Arsenal have lost 4 times in the league, right? By a total of 4 goals. Now, Iraola is, for me, one of my favorite managers in the EPL. Me personally, I love that our friends, our noisy neighbors, did not see it fit to pursue him as a manager because he would have rescued them. from their current situation. That's who they need. This guy is one of the most brilliant managers in the EPL, in my opinion. Okay?
I agree.
So he sells his best player, and then he goes on a 12-game unbeaten run. This is kind of what he does. A year ago, about this time last year, they came to the Emirates and they whooped Arsenal. That did happen. Okay, earlier this season, we went to their tiny stadium. You know, it sits about 10,000, 11,000 people. Like it's the smallest stadium in the division. And it was 3-2. Someone scored a hat trick. Who was it? Someone scored a hat trick.
Rice, I can't remember. Rice scored 2.
Rice scored 2. Sorry. I thought it was.
It wasn't a hat trick. It was a brace. Yeah.
So 3-2. That's what it took to get past this. You know, styles make fights, Yinka. This was always going to be tough. The Arsenal I watched yesterday, I did not watch a bad team. I watched a team that had a sense of urgency from minute 1. I didn't see the lethargy that the world saw. I saw them rushing, and in their rush, they made mistakes. In their rush, they were not crisp. In their rush, they did things they're not used to doing. You know? So when you rush and you don't get the results, and the other team doesn't break up and break apart, sometimes it happens. And then in the 75th minute, it wasn't the worst defensive sequence I've ever seen. For Arsenal, maybe it is, but that's because their defense is so good. It was a great goal. I want to give Iraola and his team credit for coming to the Emirates, for having, you know, the audacity to take the game to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Right? And they played defense really well. Their midfield was really good. And their attack was very opportunistic. That's it.